Today we're looking at completing the square. This is where we change a general equation to the turning point form for a quadratic. So here we have a few questions. These are all monic quadratics and it says solve. So sometimes they'll give you an expression and they'll just say complete the square. Sometimes they'll give you an expression and say solve by completing the square. So we will look at into question B. So my question B is x squared minus 3x plus 1. So it's x squared minus 3x plus 1 is equal to 0. So the first step is to find your coefficient of x. Your coefficient of x here is minus 3 and you divide it by 2. So this, if you compare your equation to the general form, which is ax squared plus bx plus c, you are just taking b by 2 and then you square it and add and subtract. Okay, so when I square it, I will get there plus 9 by 4. Then I'm subtracting 9 by 4 because I do not want to change the equation, so I have to add and subtract, so my equation remains the same. Okay, the purpose of doing that is when I do that, this becomes a perfect square and that will be x minus. So if this is a minus, I get a minus here. If that's a plus, I will get a plus here. And what's my b by 2? 3 by 2. Okay, so that's that. Now this bit we have to simplify. So it's minus 9 by 4 plus, take the LCM. After I take the LCM, I will get here x minus 3 by 2 the whole squared minus 9 plus 4 by 4, okay, is equal to 0. So this becomes x minus 3 by 2 the whole squared minus 5 by 4. Okay, I can write this as that. Okay, and I can either take this to the other side, okay, and then take the square root, or I can do it if the form a squared minus b squared is equal to 0 implies that a minus b into a plus b is equal to 0. So I'll apply that to that. So my a here is x minus 3 by 2 minus root 5 by 4 into x minus 3 by 2 plus root of 5 by 4 is equal to 0. So from what we know, we just have to equate. So what I had was x minus 3 by 2 minus root of 5 by 4 into x minus 3 by 2 plus root 5 by 4 is equal to 0. So from my null factor law, you get x minus 3 by 2 minus root 5 by 4 is equal to 0, or x minus 3 by 2 plus root 5 by 4 is equal to 0. So from here you get x is equal to 3 by 2 minus, I will write this as root of 5 by 2 because root of 4 is 2. So I split the numerator and the denominator because then I can write it as x minus root 5 by 2. That's my x value. So from here I get x is equal to 3 by 2 plus, I do the same thing here, negative, so 2. So x will become 3 plus root 5 by 2. Okay, so that's how you solve using completing the square. So we were looking at monic quadratic equations. Now these are non-monic quadratic equations. So when I'm dealing with non-monic, if you look at question C, it's always preferable to actually simplify it. Okay, and then since this is minus 1, times something is equal to 0 and minus 1 is not equal to 0. So it follows that my quadratic expression is equal to 0. Okay, so that's what we do there. If you look at question B, you can take 3 common and make it a monic. Similarly with question 2 or question A, you can take 3 common. Here you can take 3 common as well. But if you look at this question, question I, you have 4x squared minus x minus 4 is equal to 0. When I'm completing the square, I have to make this a monic and then complete the square for that. So now if I'm completing the square for that bit, I've got x squared minus 1 by 4x. So it is 4 into x squared minus 1 by 4x. Was it plus 1 or minus 1? Minus 1. Okay, so minus 1 is equal to 0. So first we fix this up. And then remember I'm adding b by 2 whole squared. And here b is minus 1 by 4. So b by 2 will be minus 1 by 8. And I'm squaring it, so I will get 1 by 64. So 1 by 4x plus 1 by 64 minus 1 by 64 minus 1 is equal to 0. So it's 4 into, this whole thing becomes x minus 1 by 8. So x minus 1 by 8, the whole squared. This will become minus 1 minus 64 by 64 is equal to 0. So you get 4 into x minus 1 by 8, the whole squared, minus 65 by 64 is equal to 0. Now when I'm solving, I don't need the 4 because the 4 is not equal to 0. So I have here what is inside is equal to 0, and I will put it as that. So then I can apply the a squared minus b squared formula. So I will get a minus b, a minus b times a plus b is equal to 0. So from there I have x minus 1 by 8 minus root of 65 by 64 is equal to 0, or x minus 1 by 8 plus root of 65 by 64 is equal to 0. We will work on this first. So from there you get x is equal to 1 by 8 plus root 65. 64 is 8 eighths are 64. So that will become 1 plus root 65 by 64. Now we'll work on this bit. So x minus, so this becomes x. When it goes outside, it becomes 1 by 8 minus root 65 by 8. So that's 1 minus root 65 by 8. Okay, so this is how you solve by completing the squares.